In today's video, let's talk about gaming on the Steam Machine because it's actually pretty good. After that, let's talk about how the Steam Deck and Steam Machine are still selling despite their price hikes. And finally, we've got 3 e-ink displays coming to the Steam Machine and all of them look pretty cool. How's it going? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about Steam hardware. I am tired because I was up late playing on the Steam Machine, but as usual, I'm here with my buddy Ray from Xbox Ready. How's it going, Ray?
It's going good. It's going good. Yeah, nothing really to report. I just jumped into the DLC for Doom: The Dark Ages last night, and I'm having a good time so far. Haven't unlocked the spear yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, nothing else to report other than, oh yeah, several thousand people losing their jobs at Xbox, which is what me and Jimmy have been talking about on my channel. So if you want to check out our thoughts on that whole crazy situation, definitely head on over to Xbox Ready. Check it out.
Can you imagine having to be forced to make a Fallout game?
I don't
like what is going on?
Like, yeah, no one. Yeah, it's crazy because why people should be excited to jump in and make a new Fallout game, or at least I would be. I don't know. Maybe people, they would rather make all these other games. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jimmy. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, especially when the spin-off one you made is widely regarded to be by far the best one. You'd think like naturally being bought by the studio that owns it, Xbox, you just want to get to work immediately on that. But what do I know? But speaking of great games, I've spent 24 hours with the Steam Machine so far, and I've tested quite a few games. It was awesome. It showed up right at 7 o'clock. I ripped it out of its packaging, which was very nice. I plugged in the HDMI, plugged in the power cord, took the micro SD card I downloaded games to all day on my ROG Xbox Ally X, popped it in the Steam Machine, and bam, 22 games populated immediately. The setup was super easy, as I talked about in my review, and I got to gaming very quickly. Started out with Resident Evil 4, 1440p 60. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando was a game I wanted to test because having all these zombies on screen really pushes the CPU, and this is one where I also had to drop it to 1080p to keep 60, but if I set it to high and kept it at 1440p, I could get 40 or 30 FPS all day long. I don't know what made me want to try Dead Island 2. I guess I'm obsessed with zombie games right now, but that one was high 1440p, locked 60 FPS right from the jump, and I played till I got to the open world. And finally, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. I stuck with the default settings, which were a mix of medium and high, kept FSR on quality, and it held a locked 60 FPS once I got into the actual game. So it was like a reverse of other games where usually the intro is super optimized and then the actual game is poorly optimized. The intro in Dead Rising is not optimized, but the actual game is. Oh, and I forgot, Dead by Daylight Ultra 1440p, locked 60. So for what I play regularly, like these are games I go back to constantly, except for Dead Island 2. It's meeting all of my needs as an extra PC I can have down here in the basement when my wife is watching The Mystery of Blind Frog Ranch on the big TV upstairs with my Beast SteamOS PC. And I'm really impressed. Like the reviews got to me. I was really expecting the worst. I was expecting like PS4 level performance, but this thing is silent, it's tiny, and it's more powerful than I expected.
I would say we have similar preferences when it comes to, if we were going just by the console logic of quality mode versus performance mode or something in between. Being able to achieve that FPS and that sort of stability, I would say is more important for a lot of gamers versus like achieving that true 4K, which obviously we're not going to get there without having some sacrifice or fallout in the frame rate. I'm curious to know, because you mentioned it earlier, and your viewers know that you have a really beefy rig up in your living room that has SteamOS on it. So when you're using the Steam Machine, are you like, man, I should be upstairs, kick my wife off the TV so I could play on my beefy rig? Or like, is the trade-off acceptable for you?
I'm honestly really surprised that 1080p did not look terrible to me. Like I set the global resolution of the operating system to 4K, so maybe it's doing a little bit of cleanup, but on my big TV upstairs, if I drop a game to 1080p, it looks like shit. But on my OLED down here, which is a pretty average OLED, it's a few years old at this point, 1080p looked fine, and I didn't honestly feel like I was losing much because I kept the settings roughly the same. I just changed the resolution. So I'm sure if I was like coming downstairs after immediately playing on the TV and jumping onto the exact same game, there'd be an adjustment period. But there, like, if there's a gap of a few minutes or a few hours or even a few days, it doesn't break my brain at all because I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm using the Steam controller, I'm using SteamOS, and I gotta say, using SteamOS on this thing is faster than my beefy PC upstairs, which has double the RAM, a much better GPU, and a much better CPU. I don't understand how, and I'm getting much faster download speeds. Like, it's outpacing the write speeds of the SSD of the thing, so it'll shoot forward to like 650 down, and then it'll like get ahead of writing to the actual SSD and slow down to like 400 down or whatever. So games download immediately on this thing. They thought of all the little stuff that goes a really long way and justifies the sort of reduced performance. I was going to say, if I was coming in fresh, it's hard to recommend it over a PS5 because of the price. But now that Sony destroyed their entire reputation in a matter of hours, I still would recommend PC over it for better discounts, not paid online, SteamOS, the controller experience. Like, I don't know if I'd necessarily say everyone should buy a Steam machine, but if you're interested in it, I'm impressed. That's all I'm going to say. So it's very game dependent right now, but if you use Proton Experimental for a lot of games, it activates FSR 4, which is essentially what the PS5 Pro uses, which is like PSSR 2 over there. Looks great. Like, if you're running FSR 3 at ultra quality or quality, it looks worse in a lot of games than FSR 4 in performance mode. So like, you're upscaling from a lower resolution and getting a better output image. Stuff like Resident Evil Requiem works with that. I mean, there's tons of games that are already supported, but I just expect that to grow. So FSR is great now. I don't know what they did between 3 and 4 because, 1 was unusable, 2 was a step in the right direction, 3 cleaned things up a lot, but still paled in comparison to DLSS. FSR 4, more than good enough. I love it. I'm like a huge FSR 4 defender now.
1440p, 60 to 70 FPS on something like Resident Evil 9. I mean, that's about try to build your own machine in that form factor, running that game at that target. And I mean, it's gonna be hard for sure.
Yeah, if you're a single dude, build the biggest, best AMD PC you can for sure, because who gives a shit what it looks like under the TV. But if you have to build a PC that passes the wife test, the price of buy-in goes up massively. There is a wife tax for sure. And I simply don't think you can do better than the Steam machine. When I was opening it up on my counter, my wife was just staring at it. She's like, that's good. That's a good looking thing. It would be good in the living room. It's going to be good in the basement. I was like, whoa, Valve did it. They passed the wife test. So it depends who you are. I'm not like saying it's always the best option over building your own PC, but it really just depends what you're looking for, honestly.
Want a wife, or do you want a big ass beefy PC?
I know if I still lived in an apartment, my beefy PC would be in the office with all my filming shit, and the Steam machine would be in the living room. But because I use that wood paneled sort of case for my beefy PC, my wife tolerates it. She doesn't like it. She would prefer the Steam machines there, but I already won the battle, so we're good. But I've just been really curious how this thing's going to sell, and I just keep an eye on the Steam top charts. And honestly, I'm really shocked to say that not only is the Steam machine very high, it's consistently at number 1. I'll explain why that's not necessarily a signifier of how well it's selling in a sec. But the Steam Deck, which is being lambasted for being overpriced now at a starting price of like $780, has been flipping back and forth between like second, third, and fourth place throughout the entire Steam summer sale. And the reason there's a caveat, Ray, is because the way Steam tracks the top sellers is by total revenue. So if you have a device that costs $780 or starts at $1,000 like the Steam machine, obviously it's going to rack up a bigger number than a $60 or $70 game or whatever cheap games are being bought during the Steam summer sale. But it's good to see it at the top of the list, because that means when people are getting their reservation emails, they're ordering it. And the same thing goes for the Steam Deck, because even though it's highly priced, it is staying in stock and people are actually ordering it. So I would say it's not an optimal situation. I'd prefer all of this stuff be cheaper. I just want this ecosystem to stay alive until prices come back down. And it looks like we're not at risk of losing it just yet.
I mean, that was the fear, right? Everyone is trying to build these new devices, whether it's the PlayStation 6 or Project Helix or the Steam machine, right in the middle of this historic memory shortage. And so, yeah, the fear is that, okay, they make these things and then it flops because they're too expensive, no one buys them, so they just give up entirely, right? That would be the worst case scenario. A lot of people pitching like delay the next generation, fucking stop making consoles until the prices come down. Unfortunately, we don't know when the hell that's going to happen, because AI shows no signs of slowing down. So it's nice seeing those kinds of numbers. Especially because, I mean, you open up Twitter and everyone's complaining about the price. Everyone's already saying that the Steam machine is doomed, that Steam Deck is doomed. Everyone always says that. And the only time that it's ever been true where like someone complains about the price and they don't buy it is with Xbox, unfortunately. Like everyone is complaining about the PS5 Pro being $700 or however much it was when it launched. And people still bought it. People are still buying the Steam Deck, even though it's more expensive. People are still buying the Steam machine, even though it's more expensive. The only console that people are not buying after the price increase, unfortunately, are Xbox consoles. I mean, it's crazy.
I've realized that there's really like two kinds of people when it comes to gaming hardware. There's people who do everything by like dollar to time or price to performance, and that governs the entire outlook. Not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's a kind of person. And then there's people who are more in it for the experience, which is why I think I fall in that camp a little bit more, because I've been interested in the Steam Deck since before it came out. It was never the strongest handheld on the block. And when I started to see, stronger competitors, comments flooded in from people being like, this is going to kill the Steam Deck. And it never did, because all the little things add up to matter more to people like me than just price to performance or hours played. Like Crimson Desert, for example. That's the longest game of all time, apparently. It gives you so much content and so much to do. But for me, that doesn't really matter. I want a good story. I want a cohesive world. I want something that feels like it had a shared creative vision. And, I just don't really care about open worlds with every checklist buzzword on the back of the box. Like it all kind of just filters people down into two separate camps. So if you're a price to performance person, I genuinely understand why it's so frustrating to see people like the Steam machine. Like, I'm not even joking. But if you're in my camp, I think you sort of get why I'm excited about it, especially now knowing that it's not this horrific piece of shit that I was honestly kind of scared it was going to be when I started to see benchmarks for like Cyberpunk or Doom the Dark Ages, these games that have forced ray tracing. I still haven't tried Silent Hill 2 Remake. I think that's going to bring it to its knees because my Beast PC upstairs buckles under the weight of that terrible, terribly optimized game. It's so bad. It stutters like crazy, frame drops all over the place. There's lighting and graphical errors, but it's so good that you just kind of fight through it. I think we're going to have some trouble on the Steam machine with Silent Hill 2, though.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Steam Deck, I mean, if you were really looking for a handheld gaming PC, there's still a strong argument to go for the Steam Deck over all of the other options on the market, even though the price is marked up. Even in terms of like mind share, market share, just overall public opinion, Steam Deck is definitely up there compared to everything else that we're seeing, even something like the Xbox Ally X.
Yeah, I mean, if you want proof of that, go look at the Steam page for Gears E-Day where they list both handhelds, but the Steam Deck is listed first as like a marketing point that they're optimized for it. It helps to have one unified ecosystem with a lot of people actually using it because it gives developers something they can target that will actually generate sales versus like every handheld under the sun that uses different chips, different specs, different screens, different controllers. Like the audience is just not big enough to support all those different devices. But when you can get one medium to big group of people all on one platform, it really helps. You get the best of both worlds of like the console optimization experience and the PC hardware experience. And that's what Valve's always been good at. And one thing I'm really excited for with the Steam machine is, of course, accessories. Valve showed off this e-ink display with the initial announcement where you could like see metrics of like performance data on the screen. People were immediately like, I want that. So instead of making it, Valve put out all of the design documentation and a step-by-step guide on how to make it, which I'm sure people are going to do because it's awesome. But I don't have the technical know-how. I don't have a 3D printer. I was hoping someone would kind of come in clutch and make one to sell that I could happily buy. And JSO actually did it, and they didn't just make one, they made 3. So the first one is essentially what Valve made. They may have even used the design documentation to produce it. That's coming out next year. The second one is like a pro version of it that uses a color e-ink display. It could show you the weather, I guess. They showed some pictures of it. That looks pretty cool. That's probably the one I want. It's got a cool design on the front. And then finally, the one that's coming out first is a dot matrix display that has to connect to the USB port on the back of the Steam machine. The other two are wireless because they're e-ink. The batteries last like months and you just take them off to charge them and then they connect via Bluetooth. But this dot matrix one that's coming out in late July or sending out production units or like prototype units, I'm not sure. I should get one though. I was talking to JSO in the DMs. That's going to come out soon and it has to be plugged into the back. But Seems pretty cool.
Over on the Xbox side, we have like the console wraps, which are okay. But then, of course, on PlayStation, you have like you could switch out the fins. This is like a whole other level, and the fact that you can make your own is even cooler. I mean, I'm looking at these JSaw ones. I keep wanting to call it JSax. I have a dock.
I call it JSOX, and like other people say it JSO, and some people say JSaw, but I'm pretty sure it's J. I like JSOX. I just want to keep saying JSOX.
No one fucking knows. I mean, I have a dock from them. I got it for my my regular ROG Ally, and I still use it time to time. So yeah, great company. They make great products, and these are so cool, man. I like the one you're talking about, like the how tiny the display is, just like the full one. But I think the coolest one is the one that's like even smaller than that, and then it has like the little knob next to it, like it's an old school radio or TV.
Yeah, the color one. That's the one I like.
Yeah. That's really cool, and it looks like it even has like the weather on it. I'm like, I don't know why I would want this, but it's just cool. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is just awesome. This is a great move on JSaw and Valve for making their machine compatible with something like this and supporting it, making it open source, because we know where that Valve is working on it as well. So yeah, W's all around.
I want to get like a little sprite gif of Leon from Resident Evil 4 where he does like a little animation and just have that loop on it.
Dude, yeah, more stuff like this. I feel like we're reaching saturation levels when it comes to like RGB on everything. I mean, you could have easily done something like that for a faceplate like this. But so this is a cool way to add your own personal touch to your Steam machine.
I'm a big fan of e-ink screens because I got this like XT e-ink e-reader that you can just put books on, and it's the size of a credit card. But I got it in May and I've never charged it, and it's still at like 85%, and I read on it every day. It came with like a MagSafe little sticker, so you can just clip it on the back of your iPhone and just always have your books with you. And the battery lasts forever. It's just awesome. So like, yeah, having an e-ink display that you barely have to charge, giving you critical performance data, that's what I like to see.
That's what we like to see.
What did you just wipe your face with?
A towel.
Oh,
it gets a little sweaty.
I thought it was like a Hogwarts scarf from Universal.
No, I don't have any Harry Potter merch. I feel like that's another win in my category. I'm never gonna like go up to you at a bar and be like, "What's your house?" and Harry Potter. Do you ever go to Hogsmeade and Universal get butterbeer?
My opener is, have you seen a Serbian film?
Maybe I should try that. And they just
don't.
They just tell me to go away.
If there's any other single guys out there, women really love when you ask them about the Ridley Scott epic, The Last Duel. Don't do that. I almost like said it serious. Don't ever ask a woman about that. They do not like that movie.
They're gonna be in the comments next video being like, Jimmy, what the hell, man? I asked if this girl saw The Last Duel and she slapped me. Security fucking had to carry me out.
It's a great movie. That's all I'm gonna say. My wife absolutely despises it, so don't bring it up to women if you're single. That's the real advice. But Ray, where can people find you for more dating advice?
Well, I'm over on Xbox Ready, part of the three-headed dragon that is Ready Media, and I've been posting way more to my Instagram, Ready Ray with 2 Ys. I'm mostly talking about Avatar and anime content lately. Every now and then I try to break out and talk about games, but so yeah, that's my thing.
Awesome. And you guys obviously know where to find me because you're watching this video all the way till the end, so huge shout out. Anyway, as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.